Fat Daddy, baby. Do you ever wonder why you're not getting to the next level in life? Like, does it ever feel like every time you're about to get to the next level in life, something always comes and blocks you? It's always a problem that comes and stops you. There's a problem that you're going through right now that feels like it's unsolvable, like you can't figure out the solution to get to the next level. Does it feel like every time you feel like you're finally about to get there, like things are finally coming together, that a problem comes through and just sweeps it all away? Well, look, in this wealth conversation, I'm here to tell you that problems are the pathway to a profitable prosperity. Problems are the pathway to a profitable prosperity. See, when you change your perspective on what a problem really is, then that's when your whole life is about to change. Let's talk about what a problem really is, right? What is a problem? A problem is a matter or a situation regarded as unwelcome or harmful and needing to be dealt with and overcome. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. A situation that is needing to be dealt with, needing to be overcome. You see, when you change your perspective on what a problem really is, you'll understand that what a problem is there for, it's not there to block you. A problem is there to bless you. Come on, I want to help you today. I want you to understand, because this philosophy, this perspective completely changed my life. See, I'm 27 years old and I haven't had to work at a full-time job over the last 5 years. We've made multiple six figures over the last few years. I'm speaking to you guys right now in my 3-story townhouse, 2 cars parked outside. I'm not here to brag to you. I'm here to tell you that the problems that I was going through really shaped me and really helped me grow into the person that allowed me to have the things that I have today. Because what I did was I changed my perspective on what a problem really is. See, I want you to pay attention to that definition. It's a situation that's that's unwelcomed. It's regarded as unwelcomed. You see, it's unwelcome because you're comfortable, right? It's unwelcome because you're comfortable. I remember, when I was about to graduate college, I was making a few thousand a month. I finally started my first business. I was making a few $1,000s a month. And, I was in an apartment. But check this out, y'all. I was in an apartment that was guarantored by my pops, right? I'll keep it a buck. I'll keep it honest with y'all, right? When I first got my first apartment, my credit was so bad that I had to get a guarantor from my father. My father had to help me sign the lease to get my first apartment. Now, granted, I was still in college, right? So maybe a lot of other college students went through the same thing or whatever. I was young, right? But at the end of the day, it made me realize something. See, what it made me realize was when I grow up, I do not want to have my dad having to sign everything for me, to get approved for, right? And what that made me do was, even though I had a business in e-commerce, like we teach people how to make money online with different e-commerce, different, multi-billion-dollar brands and stuff like that. I started that business when I was in college, my senior year. So I was in this apartment, right? Now, when I was in this apartment, guys, I started to invest the money that I had that I was making from my businesses to learn how to fix and build my credit, to learn how to start a credit business, to learn how to get funding from the banks. And what I did was I fixed my credit. I was able to fix my credit, get funding. I was able to move into a luxury apartment that was in downtown, right? And I was super excited about it, right? Because now I didn't need a guarantor to get access to this apartment. I was able to use my own credit, use my own profile to get that spot. You see, when I was going through that problem, I quickly switched in my mind. I didn't use the victim mentality. I didn't use, oh, well, I'm young, and, oh, well, my credit is bad because I'm young and I don't understand this works. Nah, right? What I did was I took the money that I was making, I started to invest into information, into coaching, into mentorship to learn how to fix my credit, and then I started a business out of it, right? See, when you change your perspective on problems, it can really change your whole life. Because now, not only was I able to change and fix my credit and get funding for myself, for my business, and able to grow my brand and businesses, but now I was able to create a business out of it. Not just because I was able to make money from it, but now I was able to fast forward to today. We've helped hundreds of people fix and build their credit, access millions of dollars in funding for small businesses and individuals from different banks and credit unions, right? So, the problems that I was going through, I switched the perspective that I had about what problems really are, and I understood that problems means that there's something for me to fix in my life. That's an indication from God, like you're going through this problem because there's something that you need to fix, right? So remember, this situation was regarded as unwelcome, right? I had to move because, I was in like a college area, apartment, stuff like that. So I had to move, right? So I'm like, man, this is unwelcome. I'm comfortable, right? So this situation was regarded as unwelcome. But guess what? This is something that needs to be dealt with and it needs to be overcome. So what did I do? I dealt with that situation and I overcame it, right? I invested into the information. I learned how to fix my credit. I fixed it. I built it. And I was able to move into a luxury apartment, top floor, right? With the gym, with the pool, with all that sort of stuff, right? So I was super excited about that, right? And fast forward to the day, I'm in this 3-story townhome. It all started from me changing my perspective on that problem, fixing my credit, and using it to change my life and helping other people to change theirs as well. It was a problem that I overcame. And now when you use that perspective, look at all the problems that you're going through in your life. See, the problems that you're going through in your life are there to shape you as a person, right? The problems that you're going through in your life are there to shape you into a better person so that you can get to the life that you want to live. If you're constantly facing problems, here's the reality. When you overcome the problem and you face that situation again, you already know how to overcome it. So it's not even going to be a problem anymore. It's just going to be another situation that you already have dealt with and overcame in the past and that you're going to overcome again, right? Here's the thing. Problems in your life develop you as a better person. See, when I was younger, I used to be fat, right? I was fat. I had the glasses. I got pretty much good grades, but not as great as the straight A kids, right? So I was in the middle or whatever you could call it. But, I got good grades. I was the fat kid with glasses, but I was cool, right? I loved to make music. So, I always connected with people and stuff like that. But you can say I was quote unquote bullied, you could call it. But in our community, we just call it joning on each other. We call it, messing around with each other, whatever the case may be, right? So I was, people always messed around me because I was the big kid, right? I was the slowest on the pacer test. I was the slowest during the gym class when we had to do laps around the, the field and stuff like that. When we played basketball, I had a jumper, right? They also, my coach, funny, he called me kickstand, right? Because I had a little jumper on me, right? But at the end of the day, I was a big kid, right? And when I was big, the first thing I did was I took confidence in my identity, right? Instead of allowing other people to clown me or whatever the case may be, hey, look, I'm Fat Danny. You can call me fat if you want to. It's whatever because I'm Fat Danny. What's up, right? Immediately, I took identity with who I was and who I am, and I took it. Now, I'm not saying that being fat or whatever the case may be is whatever. For you fitness people out there and the health people, I get it, right? But I took confidence in my identity and, hey, look, I'm Fat Danny. You can call me what you want, right? As I grew, I lost a lot of weight because, I started to focus on my fitness, on my health, on eating better, on, creating the body that I wanted to create, right? Stuff like that. So even though it was a problem in my life, I switched my perspective on the problem. You could say, I was being bullied or whatever. I didn't look at it as that. I'm like, all right, bet, yeah, I'm fat. What's up? I took it as a confidence builder. I also took it as, okay, I started doing a lot of sports. In high school, I played lacrosse, football, basketball, right? So I played a lot of sports in high school too. So I started to lose weight. I was very athletic, and, the case, at the end of the day, what the case is the fact that I took the problem in my life and I changed my perspective on it and I created the life that I wanted to, health-wise, physically, by taking that pain from that problem and really overcoming it, right? Dealing with it and overcoming it. Not saying, oh, and crying about people, oh, they're bullying me at school and all that stuff. I never complained to my dad about, or my parents about how, oh, they're bullying me at school or whatever. I just decided to work on my health. I just decided to start, playing sports more. I just decided to, start eating better, right? And I fixed, that problem in my life, right? Here's another thing, problems in the world. See, problems in the world can develop your income, right? Did you know that? Here's why. Because did you know that businesses are created just to solve problems in the world? Right? So think about that. There's different problems that people are going through in the world, and you can help them solve these problems. You might be very skillful or very confident, or you might have a lot of experience in certain industries or situations where people could pay you for you to solve their problem. That's what business is. People have a problem and they pay you to solve it. So the different problems that are going around in the world, in the community, in your family, whatever the case may be, you can learn how to solve those problems and then use the solutions to that problem and create a business out of it. And now you're helping people all around the world and you're getting paid for it, right? So problems, can literally, businesses exist to solve problems. And another thing about that is that next, as you create that business, guess what? There's going to be problems in your business. Okay? But you need to be excited about that, because once again, when you understand and you have the right perspective of what problems are, if you look at the problems in your business and you deal with them and you overcome them, right? Now that means that you're reaching more people. Now that means that your marketing is more effective. Now that means that, your hiring processes and your hiring got better. So you have a better team and you have better staff that can help you grow your business so that you're not your best employee. Now that means that you're growing and developing your profitability in your business, right? So now this means that you can help more people and you can live the life that you want to live, all because now you solve the problems in your business, which your business is solving the problems of other people. See, when you focus and you change your perspective on what problems are, y'all, I guarantee you can change your life. This is not a fluff video. I hope that you're taking notes. Okay? So the reality is you need to have patience when seeking solutions for your problem. And you need to also seek solutions for your problem from people who have already solved the problem. You need to seek solutions from people who have already went through the problems that you're going through right now and overcame them and are willing to teach you how to do it as well. And yes, that might mean you have to pay for it. Y'all, I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars on coaching and mentorship and education to get access to information that I didn't have access to, right? My dad's from Haiti, my mom's from Trinidad. I was born in America, but they did not have the access to the information that, that people had access to who were able to create financial independence, that were able to create financial freedom. See, as I was growing up, I realized that the people who had the best lifestyles, always going on vacation, this, that, and the third, their parents owned businesses. So I was like, okay, bet. When I grow up, I definitely want to own some type of business. And no disrespect to my parents, they worked very hard and all that great stuff. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, bet, I'm going to be the one that creates generational wealth in my family. I'm going to realize that the problems that we're going through, the problems that I went through as a child, the problems that we went through as a family financially, I don't want to go through those same problems when I'm older. So guess what? I'm going to take this perspective of these problems. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm not going to use it as an excuse on why I don't get to the next level in life financially, saying, oh, my parents weren't rich, so that's why I'm not rich. Oh, I didn't have anybody that owned any businesses in my family, so that's why I don't own a business. I didn't want to use any of those excuses as a reason as to why I didn't start a business. I didn't want to use any of those excuses as to why I didn't start creating generational wealth for me and my family for the future that I want to create. Right? So what you have to understand is I changed my perspective on those problems and I created a profitable prosperity for my life. Because problems are the pathway to a profitable prosperity if you change your perspective and you look at it that way, right? So look, you already have different problems that you're going through right now, right? Whether it be family, whether it be with your job, whether it be maybe you just lost a job. But listen, sometimes there are what's called a blessing in disguise. One of my mentees, they, had a certain job, right? And they weren't able to work at that job anymore. But what happened was we focused on developing their business. We focused on developing the solutions that they were already skillful in. And now they're never looking back at a job again. I mean, I'm talking about making over 20, 30K a month right now, right? And so the reality, y'all, is that problems are the pathway to a profitable prosperity. You can change your life if you change your perspective on the problems you're going through. Use the problems as you're going through as fuel to start a profitable business. Use the problems that you're going through right now as fuel to change the profitability in your relationships, the profitability in your personal development and your personal health and wealth, right? Understand that problems are there to shape you, to help you become a better person, right? To develop you, right? Because basically problems are not there to block you. Problems are there to bless you. All right? So listen, y'all. This is why problems are the way to this is why problems are the way or the pathway to a profitable prosperity. And, I hope that you took some gems from this, and, just understand that if you really want to design the life that you want to live, you can't use problems as an excuse to stop you, from where you want to go, right? A lot of the times those problems are there to help you develop yourself to understand, because, even myself, I remember there's times where, as I was building the business and I was broke, right? But the different challenges that I went through, the different struggles that I went through, whether it be from family to acquiring clients to, marketing the business, whatever the case may be, now as a coach, as a mentor who has now mentored hundreds and hundreds of people, I'm glad that I went through those problems, because now as a coach, I'm able to push people through those problems, and I'm able to give people a different perspective on those problems that they didn't have before working with me, right? And it's not about me, because the same thing happened for me when I paid for coaches and mentors that did the same thing for me. They changed my perspective in the way that I looked at the problems that I was going through in my life. And they showed me that these, things happen, right? But what you have to do is it's not the way that you react to something, it's the way that you respond to it. When you react to something, that's just emotional. That has no thought behind it. But when you respond, right, that's why the root of responsibility is respond, right? So responding is different. When you're responsible and you're responding to these different situations that happen in life, and you're dealing with regarded situations that are regarded as unwelcome, and you're dealing with them and you're overcoming them, when these situations happen again, they're not even problems. And as a matter of fact, these situations no longer even arise. So man, look, it's your boy. I hope you got some value from this information. Make sure you like this video and subscribe. Let's get it. Let's tap in. Fat Daddy, baby.